Hi everyone, so today I want to talk a little bit about the protests here in Hong Kong, how they started, and also why it'll be difficult for them to stop because none of the parties involved at this point want to back down. So originally there was a guy from Hong Kong who was dating a lady from Taiwan. She got pregnant with his kid, and so he flew over to Taiwan, actually killed her, and then fled back to Hong Kong. Now there's no extradition treaty between Taiwan and Hong Kong for that. So they introduced one into the Hong Kong legislature, and at that point the Chinese Communist Party didn't want to be outdone in their relationship with Hong Kong by Taiwan. So they had one introduced as well between Hong Kong and China. So this really made a lot of the people that are now protesting angry because Hong Kong doesn't want to have any more encroachment from Beijing before 2047 when there's a formal handover to mainland China with them. And so they hit the streets and they started protesting this extradition bill. At that point, the government in Hong Kong actually withdrew the bill, suspended it, but they didn't cancel it or terminate it entirely. So the protesters were a little bit afraid that after the protests died down, that the government would then reintroduce the bill and try to, quietly push it through the legislature. So what happened at that point was that then the police started getting involved, and there was a lot of conflicts between the protesters and the police. So the protesters actually demanded that there was an independent investigation into the police force in Hong Kong. So at this point, the police don't really want to back down and be subject to an independent investigation into themselves. Then you look at the protesters, and actually the Hong Kong government's been classifying these as riots and not protests. The difference is that in Hong Kong, if you get arrested for rioting, you can get up to a 10-year sentence. And if the extradition bill with China goes through, maybe it could even be more. So what a lot of these protesters, more than 700 of them have been arrested, absolutely don't want to stop this at this point. And then on top of that, you have the Chinese Communist Party. They haven't really had this much pushback from any one group, really ever, because a lot of the people that they're dealing with and maybe protesting would be in mainland China, and it's easy to kind of cut them off from any surrounding media, turn off cell service, things like that. But they can't really do that in Hong Kong so much. It's a fairly international city. And so they don't really want to empower other groups by letting the Hong Kong people dictate their policy with their protests. And so they don't want to back down there. And then another issue for the Chinese party is that they are having this big October 1st 70th anniversary celebration of when they liberated China from the Kuomintang military in October 1st, 1949. And so October 1st is a holiday for mainland China as well as Hong Kong, so they can celebrate this together. Now, the issue is that if the Chinese government wants to come and put down these protests before then, that's going to look really bad for their celebration. If they wait, then it's almost certain that the Hong Kong protesters are going to use that date, October 1st, to take advantage of the international press that's going to be coming in, and then also do something to kind of ruin the party, the Chinese Communist Party. So that's kind of where the parties stand right now. It'll be very difficult for any of them to end it because they're all kind of invested too much at this point to back down. Another issue, too, is that there hasn't really been a time in modern history when a place has gone from having lots of personal rights and freedoms like Hong Kong to being then taken into a communist state. Usually it's the other way around. You look at East Germany, they went from being behind walls and being, there was Stasi and things going on. Then they were kind of liberated, and the walls came down. They had a lot more rights. Imagine doing it backwards. So that's kind of what the Hong Kongers are looking at right now, too. So it's not really something that's happened in modern history before. So this is a very, very special, unique situation. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I don't see these protests stopping at least for a month. It could be much longer. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.